Afternoon, folks, and welcome to the View and the warm up the short sharp data pack to get you ready for Leeds' next game. And this one is a biggie, a must not lose game for Leeds United coming into Monday night. They've got a solid gap over fourth now, with Sunderland dropping points on Saturday. Burnley did pick up some points, but Burnley will have to face Sheffield United at a later point this season. A must not lose game more so than a must win. And after this game, should things go according to plan, Leeds will have one top 7 side to play for the remainder of the season. Saying that, 3 points for Leeds United would open a 2-result gap between them and Sheffield United and maintain that 7-point gap over Burnley in third place and grow the lead over Sunderland to 13 points and pretty much rule out any chance that they had of catching Leeds at this point. Local bragging rights obviously are at stake in this game, and it'll be an interesting clash between the more usually composed Daniel Farke, with the exception of what happened after the game against Sunderland, and the slightly more outspoken Chris Wilder. Tactics aplenty, mind games from Wilder coming into this game as well. Be interesting to see what impact they have on the game. But for me, this game will be decided by what comes off the bench, and for me, again, this is the first opposition that Leeds have played this season with a bench that's even slightly comparable to the options that Leeds can bring into the field. Leeds have been lucky, I suppose, in a privileged position to be able to rely on the likes of Willie Gnonto, Largi Ramazani, Joe Rothwell, Ilya Gruev, Matteo Joseph, Joshua Gilavogi and Pascal Struijk to come off the bench in recent weeks. But last week we saw Sunderland being Ben Brereton, Diaz, Harry Clark and Hamza Chowdhury off of their bench. So these players on both sides could impact massively how this game finishes come the end of Monday night. As always, for me, the first goal for Leeds is important. If they can get that first goal, then Leeds can dictate how this game goes and have the ability to do so and avoid any late drama needed towards the back end of the game, similar to Sunderland. I think we could all, as much as everyone enjoyed it, I think we could all do without that panic coming into the last couple of minutes in this game. I do expect Daniel Farke to go with a defensive pivot in this game, just to keep the back line safe and to make sure the worst case scenario, Leeds leave Bramall Lane with a minimum of a point, which for me would be a very good result at this point of the season, looking at what Leeds will have to do ahead of this. Leeds need 6 wins to guarantee promotion back to the Premier League. They could go a long way about doing that if they were to beat Sheffield United. It would be a big statement on top of what happened against Sunderland as well. But it'll be interesting to see what the key battles in this game are going to be. Let me know down in the comments what you believe the key battles in this game will be, where you think this game will be won or lost. And 70-minute substitutions don't hold up anymore, unfortunately, given the record that Leeds are currently creating with 14 goals off the bench this season. That doesn't even include assists. It's only the goals they've scored off the bench so far this season. Tonight in the warm-up we will go through the usual stuff, the form guide for both sides coming into this game, the key form, Sheffield United at home and Leeds on the road record, key players that will need to be watched out for on both sides, team news for both teams, as well as lineup predictions for this game. And I do think there will be some changes for this game. But let's start with the form guide, and we'll start with Sheffield United, who are the home side coming into this game, and 4 wins and 1 defeat in their last 5 from the Blades. That defeat did come at home. 70 points picked up from 33 games so far, with 2 points behind Leeds, and a win will see them jump above the Whites. Leeds United 4 wins and 1 draw in our last 5, unbeaten in 15, and 72 points picked up from 32 games this season. A goal difference of plus 48 is heading towards Leeds' best ever season goal difference. They are plus 1 away from doing that in this game. Leeds are averaging 2.1 points per game so far, and if that was to continue, that would see Leeds United bypass the 100 point mark and nearly, as I say, guarantee themselves promotion. And it could be Preston or Bristol, where Leeds are already confirmed, should everything go according to plan, and we shouldn't lose the run of ourselves. There's a lot of road still to run in this campaign. The key form coming into this game, so let's have a look at Sheffield United's home record and Leeds away record heading into this game. And Sheffield United have the second best home record in the league. They've picked up 38 points from 11 home games, 2 defeats at home all season, and have only conceded 10 goals in those 16 games and scored 24. Leeds away form has definitely turned a corner, specifically over the last 3 weeks, and the third best in the league away form table. 28 points now picked up on the road, scoring 24 goals and only conceding 12 on the road. Leeds haven't conceded a goal away from home in their last 3 games. That defence and that change Daniel Farke has made specifically to the double pivot in the middle of the park has been massive to keeping that door closed at the back Adding an extra defensive midfielder for away games has seen Leeds, as I say, go 3 games without conceding a goal and look a hell of a lot more assured for counter-attacks when they're away from home. Team news coming into this game, we'll start with Sheffield United, and probably some very good news for them and not so much for Leeds. Late checks for Gus Hamer, Tom Cannon and Ben Burton-Diaz, who all missed out on the Luton game and are all expected to be back available for this one. Leeds United, no Pat Bamford or Max Fober, as has been the case for the last couple of weeks. Manor Solomon is expected to have a late check but could miss this game. That could give Largi Ramazani the opportunity to come back into this side and stake a claim for his place in the side for the remainder of this season. Nobody wants to get injured at this point now, with the run-in getting closer and closer to being sorted. Key players for Sheffield United in this game, well, according to the stats, Hamer, Burrows and O'Hare are their top performing players this season, with Michael Cooper in goal and Harry Souters from a defensive perspective all being very, very strong for Sheffield United. From a G&A perspective, Gus Hamer is their top with 12. You've got Raksaki with 8 and O'Hare with 8 in there as well. From a Leeds perspective, as I say, I think we'll see some changes in midfield, but based off the average ratings this season, Manor Solomon and Dan James are Leeds' highest rated players, with Junior Firpo, Pascal Stroke and Ao Tanaka coming in after them. Goals and assist perspective, Joe Perreault still top of the pile on 20, Dan James on 16 and catching him very quickly, and Manor Solomon sitting on 14, and he will be a loss for this game should he miss out. Lineup wise for this game, as I say, I expect changes from Daniel Farke, some likely to be enforced, others decisions that could give him a little bit of a headache. Despite Joe Rothwell's performance and how big a fan and how much I've loved what Joe Rothwell does this season, I talk about him consistently being a tempo driver for Leeds. I do expect him to be on the bench for this game, and I do expect Daniel Farke to go with that extra defensive player in the middle of the park. The question for this one will be, is it Ethan Ampadu or is it Ilya Gruev? Pascal Stroke is banging on the door to get his left centre-back position back, and that could facilitate a move for Ethan Ampadu back into his favourite central midfield. And maybe give Leeds a little more tempo coming out at the back, with how Stroke likes to come out with that ball quickly and break into space. Ampadu a little more casual about his approach, but very, very good and comfortable in midfield, and we saw that change when he went in there against Sunderland. My guess for team sheet wise for this game will be Meslier in goal, Bogle right back, Firpo left back, Joe Rodon and Pascal Stroke back in as the centre half pairing, Ethan Ampadu and Ao Tanaka in the middle of the park, that defensive pivot. Largi Ramazani, Dan James, Brendan Aronson in the 3 behind Joel Pirro to operate in that number 9 position again. Jayden Bogle needs to be careful in this game. He needs to avoid picking up a booking between now and the end of the Millwall game in a couple of weeks' time if he is to avoid a 2-match ban. He's sitting on 9 yellow cards right now. 10 will see that suspension. If he gets past the Millwall game, the threshold passes and he's good till the end of the campaign. Daniel Farke will watch this game from the stands. It'll be an interesting one to see how that dynamic works, not having the manager on the sideline. He is able to speak to the players before the game and do everything as normal prior to kickoff. He is able to go into the dressing room at half time and talk to the players, and he can go in at full time as well and is allowed to talk to the officials during those 3 opportunities as well. Keep an eye on earpieces and phone calls. As I said on the preview with stats, I don't expect him to need to pick up the phone till 70 minutes. At that point, just tell the lads who's coming on and then crack on with that. We'll see how it goes. Tongue in cheek, and I'm being facetious, obviously, but yeah, it's a very structured Leeds United team. We all know that, and it shouldn't need huge variations of that from the sideline over the course of this game. Let me know down below what your lineup prediction will be, what your score prediction coming into this game. It's been a decent weekend result-wise. One team falling off at the chase. Burnley's still there, but a win on Monday for Leeds could very much put Burnley a little bit further away from Leeds and maybe give Leeds a clear run at the league title. Let me know again down below what you think, and I will be back on Monday morning for Leeds news. Over on Big Up on Monday night for the watch along. If you want to join there, there'll be a link down below to show you where that stream is taking place. You can join me over there if you want a bit of a chat, a bit of commentary, and a little bit of football talk, I suppose, as well. But folks, that will be it for me today. Massive thank you, as always, for supporting this channel. Appreciate it. And I'll see you on Monday for the Leeds news. Have a great rest of your weekend. Talk to you soon. See you, bye.